All right, we're here with a little bit of unit testing time. Turin and I are going to square off using the Dread Saurian and see how it does against various large creatures like Star Dragons, Charybdis, Hellpit Abomination, Rotting Leviathan, and we'll also be doing Kolek and a Giant for Chaos in this one. This will be a part 1 of 2 series. Part 2 will be on Turin's channel, so you can go and check out that video, and he will be doing a whole slew of different monsters that we can go through. So, how excited are you about this big Mamba Jamba that has been added to the game, dude?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I really thought that the Dread Saurian might be a bit of a bigger beast, you know, just based on the lore of it and whatnot. But in terms of its overall kind of durability, it has 10,500 HP on the standard variant. I'm not sure about the big old Papa, the Shredder of Lustria, but I think it's around the same. So, you know, not as durable as I thought, but the big caveat, obviously, is it's very fast, and it does also have a pretty good weapon strength at 750, I think. So certainly no joke, but yeah, first battle, Star Dragon time. So let's line up these bad boys. I'm just going to be doing, you know, 3 kind of set apart. And
yeah, I've got the Shredder in the center, and then I've got the normals on the left and right side.
So make sure you don't cheat with your Lord helping.
Dude, stop!
Now, the one thing the Star Dragon will have here, obviously, if this was like wasn't just a combat test, and you could just stay put because I'm going to be charging you. So.
Okay, I'm going to actually make sure I stay far apart though, so the Howdas don't.
Yeah, so the Blisters don't kind of shoot.
Yeah.
But essentially, the Star Dragon, if you were in like a ladder game or something, would be doing like a breath attack beforehand on the you know, on the beasts, which would vastly potentially change the outcome.
Why don't you do a Star Dragon attack on the top one?
On the top one, sure. Yeah, I'll do
just
that.
we'll see what it's like to have one without it and one with it.
Yeah. So this is just kind of a vacuum duel test, obviously, and
obviously I wouldn't be sitting still to take that Fire Dragon too if I saw it.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to dodge it, you know, for sure.
Oh, shuck and jive, man! Just dodge right into it.
These things are really fast, though. That's something that's quite cool about them.
Just got the 60 speed. Just got the mad what's it called on them? Jets.
Comes breath attack on the far side. Didn't do that. Man, I did a bit of damage.
Hey, yeah. You know, hey, 10% of health or so.
So yeah, the Dread Saurians aren't super tanky. They only have 34 melee defense, but I mean they still have 100 armor, so they're really strong against like small arms fire, so like archers and things like. Oh my god, look at the burst they got on that middle.
No, seriously.
They hit really hard. 750 is no joke, and if you have like any augmentation, like Occam's Mind Razor or you know whatever else. Well, there's no Shadow Slam, I don't think, but you know stuff like that, you can really make these guys pretty saucy.
The Shadow Slam would be such a disgusting looking creature.
Yeah, well now we have
that Shredder is really putting it into the middle one.
Yeah, the Shredder, of course, is cost. Now, guys, we always thought the Star Dragon was an expensive unit, but the Shredder of Lustria costs, I think, 3,800. It's like 4K gold against 2.2 here, so yeah, it should perform like that.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's good to see that because when you take a look at the Feral one, I think the Feral's 2,800, the normal one's 3,200, then you go up to 3,800. So the cost difference between this one and the Feral one is huge, and obviously, you know, you're going to deal with all the perks of it being. It's going to have its Howda, or I'm sorry, this is the $3,800 one, whatever the hell. You're going to have the Howda on it. It's going to have better leadership, better stats overall. The Shredder of Lustria itself also gets both Dread Aversion and it gets Encourage. So those are two kind of things going for it.
The Dread Beast.
So definitely it won against the Star Dragons, but as you said, to be expected. But it wasn't even like
Star Dragon's not an anti-large beast either. So
exactly, which is what's going to change right now with the Charybdis, right? Charybdis is the anti-large version of the Hydra.
Yeah. I mean, it's its own kind of entity, and essentially because the Charybdis doesn't regenerate like a Hydra, but it does have anti-large and poison, and that's a big factor in these monster duels. Is because poison essentially proportionally lower stats like weapon damage, and against big monsters it's going to be lowering a vast amount of stat pool. So now both of these creatures do have poison, so let me make sure I don't bring the bow version, and we're good to go.
Yep.
Let's test it.
Go. Yeah, and that's just like you were saying, these creatures do have poison attack because the Howdas will be shooting with poison attacks before things actually make contact with them, reducing weapon strength. Does it reduce charge bonuses?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I don't know if it does. Yeah, we'll take a look. And what are you calling those things? Howdas?
Yep.
Howdas, huh? What is that? Like a haggard crossbow or something? Or
no, that's like the name of like the little thing on their back. Like so, the war mammoths have no, the actual whole hut on its back.
Oh, okay.
So you know, Moomakills have little things on their back.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
That's their wording, not mine. I don't know what it's like. I didn't even know it was a word until I saw it in Little Warhammer.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. I just did not know what that means. And usually, you know, we know those obscure words from just reading fantasy novels, but
so many fantasy novels.
Just going deep in those. All right, here comes the dreaded Charybdi, bro.
Now, I'm gonna get my 30 charge bonus against you, dudes. You better get ready.
Cryptus, I'm surprised that the Cryptus has a better charge bonus than the Shredder of Austria. You would think such a beast would be able to really just get in there,
dude,
right? But,
it's funny that it's got a 60 speed because it's so massive. It's so ponderously slow looking, but I mean, this thing's got
really
some
fast.
It's got some
That's its
moves.
biggest strength. Like you can kite with them too because their ballistas are actually quite powerful. So if you want to use like a kite build using like Razordons and Nest of Damage Talk, you can get really gross with them. I think that's really their strength more so than just like brutish like kind of rush builds.
Right.
But
their biggest
time will tell.
One of their big problems too, though, is moving. Like these things, if you wanted to say, let's say you got attacked from the front and the rear, but the rear target was more valuable, moving to attack that rear target takes a long time for these things to move.
You know, they actually turned surprisingly fast.
That was not my experience when I was playing. Oh man, these guys were just like.
I find they have some problems with mass a little bit. Like it seems like they have trouble pushing through things. I think that may be just a bit of a stat bug or something that needs to be adjusted. But like I had trouble moving them through like dwarf infantry.
Like pathing them through dwarfs.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Whereas like other monsters are
they're scared of them, man.
All right, the Shredder does work, but honestly, the Cryptus did like about as good as the Star Dragon, if not a little bit better on one side.
Yeah, and without a breath attack too.
Oh,
dude, just goes right for the booty on him.
Yeah, I mean, so the Cryptus is really cheap though. It's only 1,700. So for the cost of one of these Dread Saurians, you could actually have two Cryptus in the same pool. So I think two Cryptus would win this fight pretty handily.
Especially if they were buffed too.
Yeah, but I mean, who's going to bring two Cryptus? And essentially, we're just testing power levels, right? So yeah, I think that's good.
Fast forward that.
I wonder if anybody will defeat the dreaded Shredder of Lustria.
I don't know, man.
I think maybe the Tomb King Sphinx or the Regiment of Renowned Mammoth might put up an okay fight, but even still, I don't think we're going to see that.
Yeah, both of those will be in Turin's video on his channel. So you'll see part one on his channel, whichever one you're watching first.
Yeah, it depends what you're watching.
Then you'll go over to his channel and see the other part, where you will get to see the Tomb King's Sphinx and so on and so forth. Next up is the Rotting Leviathan, though, for the Vampire.
So add one regular one to your pool, because I'm going to bring two Deathshriek Terrorgeists as well, just to kind of
add one normal or feral.
Normal, just a normal one.
Okay, can you raise the points?
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't afford them.
Yeah, see, as you guys can see, 3,200, 2,300, 3,800. So they ain't cheap. And you raise it even more. Oh wait, no, really? I got it. I just double clicked it.
Let's get a cheaper lord there. Yeah. Here we go. The Clash of Fates. It's your own. It's your namesake here.
I know, dude. This will be interesting. The Rotting Leviathan and the Terror Shrike or Terrorgeist. Deathshriek Terrorgeist. Jesus, man.
Deathshriek. Deathshriek Terrorgeist. I think the crabs are going to get smashed pretty hard, but it's basically just to kind of test them across different durability of targets, because the crabs, of course, have a
120
pretty good defensive
armor.
stats. Yeah, 150. Yeah.
Oh, 150.
Yeah, the crab gods are pretty tanky. The Shredder of Lustria is such a tyrant.
I know, dude. It's such a great name too. The Shredder of Lustria.
Yeah, it's like Ninja Turtles. Shredder.
That's exactly what I thought of. Let me space these guys out.
Is it really hot down in
Dude, it's miserable. It's like a swamp. Like, I know Florida's got its own thing going on with their hurricane, but it feels miserable.
We're not humid though, really. It's more just dry heat.
It's humid up here for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fast forwarding here.
Hey.
So I'm going to do breath attacks with the gooses.
How dare you?
The gooses need a fighting chance here.
Well, I'm a goose.
Well, they're terror gooses. That's kind of the running joke name for them. Got those. Yeah, the ballistas are pretty good though, man.
Big old diving charge right into that Rotting Leviathan there. We can see the Terrorgeists though they're chipping away, but not really getting. They're getting more worked over than the Rotting Leviathans, which is to be expected by defensive stat comparison. Yeah,
the Leviathans are holding pretty well though. Like, considering they're just sitting there, and like obviously in a practical scenario there would be invocations healing them, but their DPS isn't. They're not known for their DPS, and the Terror Gooses from the Vampire Coast are not anti-large. They're more of a generalist unit, whereas the Vampire Council ones are anti-large. So.
Did both of your things go? Oh shit, that one's kind of.
Yeah, I got both my breath attacks off. It didn't matter.
Yeah, the one of my bottom one, my left one, didn't seem to take as much damage as the right one.
Yeah, it's sometimes they're not always accurate and they'll miss, and but yeah, as expected, the Dread Saurian plows through the competition once again. But yeah, the Dread Saurian's biggest weakness obviously is just being swamped with missiles, and they go down quite quick. Just from my experience, like, yeah, we've seen some replays with that. So the next one, what do we got? What do we got next, man?
So next up is going to be Hell Pit Abomination here for the Skaven. I'm going to drop a Dread Saurian, right, and go back down to 3.
Yeah, just go to 3. This is actually going to be an interesting test. I think the Hell Pit is, for the cost, will perform pretty well here because of the regeneration.
Yeah.
And its weapon strength is really fat, plus the healing from the too horrible to die. This is going to be interesting.
It has anti-large as well, right?
It does.
And
correct.
AP.
Mm-hmm. Really good values, actually.
And the cost on a Hell Pit is 2,200?
1,800. Yeah, they're pretty cheap. Hell Pits are a solid anti-large unit. A little bit poor in the leadership department, but I still think Hell Pits are a really, really good unit.
What Skaven isn't,
Yeah, Skaven are really strong for right now, for sure. They're a top-tier competitive faction, like, hands down. Jezzails are just so good.
So here's, I guess, a question that is kind of non sequitur to what we're doing right now.
Dare you, Ryan?
How dare you? With all these additions, right? With the Dread Saurian coming to the Lizardmen, or the Razor Dawn, all sorts of these goodies. How do you feel that this really places Lizardmen as far as like in their power, the relative like power tiers or whatnot of?
So Lizardmen were already a top tier faction, like before this. So it can only make them better. The Lizardmen pre-patch, pre-DLC were in the top 3 in my opinion. So like, just think of it this way: what bad matchups do the Lizardmen have in multiplayer?
Well, I guess my response to that though is like I've seen more Lizardmen losses than I have wins.
Yeah, that just depends on the players, and that's just more anecdotal, like your observation. And like in community tournaments and whatnot and things like that, they're just so good. Like they have no bad matchups. So you can pick Lizardmen and be like, okay, I don't care what my opponent picks. I have something to answer everything they do.
Norska.
Yeah, Norska's not that bad though.
Just throg them. Just throg them to death.
I mean, Throg's good, yeah, but I think Lizardmen are a much better faction than Norska.
Well, absolutely. They just. I mean, as far as like just their standard troops against standard troops, they're so high value, right? Like if you're just looking at Saurus, they're so good.
Like almost everything on the Lizardmen roster is pretty good. There's a couple of janky units that but their lords are amazing. The Salons are amazing. Now
they've got great
coming in.
Now they've got a really good strong air force too that can threaten a lot of different variations of like large and small units. So Shredder of Lustria though, bring in the dumpster.
I'm surprised the Hell Pits aren't putting up as good of a fight as the Crabs.
Really, I was expecting a little bit more damage as well. So taking a look here, so the Crabs, they have 350, 330 some odd AP weapon strength. He's got that 416th with anti-large. So
for the Krabby Patties or for these guys?
For the Krabby Patties. The Krabby Patties have 350 or 330 or so.
Well, and they have the AP shotguns on their back, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That does help also. Yeah, this is like bully beatdown.
Yeah.
For sure. And the funny thing is that the Hell Pit can't even run from it because the Shredder is so fast with 60 speed plus poison. So like, it's going to be able to hunt the souls of the Hell Pits. That was pretty one-sided.
Dude,
actually.
just slavering, just going right for him.
I think largely due to the fact that Hell Pits have really low melee defense.
That's very true.
And it blows up. It actually looked like the Hell Pit Abomination did damage when it blew up. On the last one, on the far side.
Oh wow! Holy crap! Yeah.
Like there was like a red aura of effect and it like blew up the other one. It's the same as when the Flamespire Phoenix dies. I actually think that's a bug. So
yeah, I did not realize that. I've never seen that do at least that amount of damage. I didn't even know it did damage.
Yeah, usually it doesn't, but yeah, it's interesting.
All right, and our last test here for this one is going to be it's a giant and Kolek versus one, right?
Yeah, so I'm bringing 2 giants and then I'm going to bring a Shaggoth and Kolek Sun Eater. So I'm going to have essentially 4 units for you to fight.
Alrighty. Oh wait, do I need to bring a 4th Saurian then?
Yeah, you need 4 in total because Kolek's going to be getting in there nice and dirty. Like
I didn't know if you were taking a Kolek and a giant onto one. So okay, I see what you're saying.
Kolek's going to fight the Shredder of Lustria, the glorious duel of the ages.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how he fares.
The Shredder will probably win. I don't know though, man. I'm impressed with.
Will Kolek put that name to the test?
Yeah, he'll try. I did bring the Star Crusher just to kind of even up the cost a little bit.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, Kolek's 2,800 with Star Crusher. That's pretty deep. That's expensive.
That's a frothy boy right there.
It's still 1,000 less than the Shredder of Lustria, though. All right, so
we're saying pound for pound as far as point by point. These things are great in a vacuum, in a one-on-one situation.
Yeah, but even for the cost, I still don't think they're cost effective because the rest of your army is going to be so small.
God, like that was one thing I noticed. Is like, okay, well, hey, I'll have a fun battle. I'll bring the Shredder of Lustria, but yeah, like you said, it's here. So Shredder of Lustria is in the dead center.
I'm switching sides. You stay where you are.
Okay.
And Giants got a cost reduction too. They cost like 100 or 200 less now.
Oh, that's even. Were they 1,800 before? 1,900?
Yeah, they're in that ballpark. They only cost 1,500 now, so they're much cheaper. All right, run your beast toward me too, just so they're equally tired.
It will happen.
And we can fast forward because it's going to take the giant some time to get there.
What are you talking about?
Kolek has, you know, a lot less HP, but his combat stats are better. So,
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like,
well, I mean, his melee defense is at least.
That's always kind of been the graded standard, though. Is like, right, like comparing Kolek's like just smashing ability against things.
Yeah, that or the Tomb King Sphinx. The giants are going to get wrecked pretty good by the ballistas on top because that's a lot of like extra damage against their light armor. But Kolek's actually beating the Shredder of Luster.
Yeah. Did you drop?
A close fight.
Did you drop the Star Crusher?
I dropped everything. Yeah, it's going to come down to leadership, and the regular Dragon Ogre Shag is doing pretty good actually. But you know, Kolek might actually lose due to leadership.
Yeah, it's looking like that.
Now, I think what ended up happening there is the other.
Yeah, I see that because they're both shooting at each other's Shaggoth.
It's still a good test. Like, I think if Kolek and the Shredder fought, like, you know, 10 times, the Shredder would probably win, like, 6, and Kolek would win, like, 4.
Yeah.
It just depends on leadership, and that's what it comes down to. And,
yeah,
and
I think
the ballistas are really good.
Yeah, had Shaggoth been... had he been supported, you know, I think that he would have won that way more than lost.
But that's a good trade for Kolek, considering he cost, without his hammer, he cost, like, you know, 1,200. Kolek would easily beat a regular Dread Saurian, easily. But the Shredder obviously has way better stats, being the ROR. And, you know, actually, the Fear Aura from it might have come into play there on the Shredder of Lustria.
Yeah, he does cause terror. And he does have his...
is it terror, or does he have a
Dreader version, which reduces leadership by 8.
That actually matters. Like, Kolek probably wouldn't have broke there without that. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so definitely the Dread Saurian is pretty strong in all the matchups we've seen here today, or at least in this part. But we're going to jump over to the next part where we take a look at some other matchups for the Dread Saurian. Any closing thoughts before we jump over to that one?
No, excited to do it, man, and looking forward to some more of these tests.
Alrighty. Well, guys, head on over to Turin's channel, and if you're on... head on over to Turin's channel.
Inception.
Yeah, to check out the other part of this test. But as always, have a good one and take care.